Do you remember this woman from the Titanic movie? Well, she was a real person. Margaret Brown, known during her lifetime as Maggie, earned the nickname the Unsinkable Molly Brown for her heroic efforts during the sinking of the Titanic. Molly was born on July 18, 1867 in Missouri to Irish Catholic immigrants and was one of 7 children. Her father was a laborer and abolitionist who supported the Underground Railroad, and her family was very poor. When she was 18, Molly moved to Colorado with 2 of her siblings and got a job at a dry goods store. There, she met J.J. Brown, who was imaginative and self-educated, but as Molly was quoted saying, he was as poor as we were and had no better chance. Molly loved J.J., but struggled over whether or not she should marry him. According to her, Molly wanted to marry a rich man who could help support her father as he aged. However, she decided that marrying a poor man that she loved was better than marrying a rich man whose money attracted her, and she married JJ. They had 2 children together, Larry and Helen, and also raised 3 of her nieces. In 1893, the Brown family became very, very rich. JJ was a miner who self-studied mining engineering to become better at his craft. JJ's mining knowledge proved to be instrumental when he invented a way to prevent cave-ins at the Little Johnny mine. The Little Johnny mine was the Ibex Mining Company's most profitable, and they awarded him 12,500 shares in the company and a seat on the board. After his success with Ibex, JJ decided to operate his own mining enterprises and became one of the wealthiest mine owners in Colorado. With their new wealth, the Browns bought a $30,000 Victorian mansion in Denver, which is about $1.1 million today. Their money and position gave the Browns entree into Denver's elite social circles. Molly used her position to join the Denver Women's Club, whose mission was to improve women's lives through education and philanthropy. She also immersed herself in the arts and lobbied for women's right to vote. However, JJ was not interested in the social life that Molly loved, and the couple separated, but did not divorce, in 1909 after 23 years of marriage. As part of their separation agreement, Molly received a monthly allowance of $700, which is about $23,000 today. In early 1912, Molly went to visit her daughter Helen, who was studying at the Sorbonne in Paris, and also to travel with J.J. Astor and his new wife. See my previous video to learn about that scandal. While on her trip, she received word that her oldest grandchild was gravely ill. So she booked a first-class ticket on the first ocean liner leaving for New York, the RMS Titanic. Her oldest daughter was supposed to come with her, but decided to go to London with friends instead. During the sinking of the Titanic, Molly helped to evacuate the ship and board people onto lifeboats before finally being persuaded to board Lifeboat 6 herself. While in the lifeboat, she grabbed an oar and helped row the boat while trying to keep everyone's spirits up. She also urged the lifeboat crew to go back and save more passengers. However, they refused, afraid that the boat would be pulled down due to suction or that swimmers would swamp the boat trying to get in. After several attempts to get Robert Hitchens, who was in charge of her lifeboat, to go back, Molly threatened to throw him overboard. When they had finally been rescued by the Carpathia, Molly had been rowing for hours and was sore, tired, and freezing. However, she distributed extra blankets and supplies to women who had been sleeping in the dining room and corridors. She also used her knowledge of foreign languages to help console passengers who did not speak English. While on the Carpathia, she realized that many of the survivors had lost everything in the sinking: their families, clothes, money, and valuables. So she rallied the first-class passengers to form a committee to donate money and goods to the second and third-class passengers to help them get back on their feet. Before the Carpathia reached New York, she had already raised $10,000, or about $315,000 in today's money. The committee also provided informal counseling to survivors. Here she is presenting the captain of the Carpathia with an award for his service to rescue survivors of the Titanic. Molly then used her fame as a Titanic survivor to bring attention to causes that she cared about, such as workers and women's rights. In World War I, she worked with the Red Cross in France to help wounded French and American soldiers and rebuild areas behind the front line. She was awarded the French Legion of Honor for her work. In 1922, her husband J.J. passed away, leaving behind a vast, complicated estate that was a mystery to both the Brown family and their lawyers. Molly's children were not happy with the large amounts of money that she spent on charities, and she fought with them in court for 6 years to settle the estate. In the last few years of her life, Molly pursued an interest in the stage and became an actress. She lived in the Barbizon Hotel, which was famous for housing aspiring actresses such as Ingrid Bergman of Casablanca fame. Molly passed away in 1932 at the age of 65 of a brain tumor. She truly lived an inspirational life.